begin the readout tonight with the anti-democratic soul of the Republican Party. This week will tell us a lot about the future of that party and, frankly, the future of our democracy itself. On Wednesday, it's expected that House Republicans will vote to remove Wyoming Congresswoman Liz Cheney from party leadership for telling the truth in the face of the disgraced former president's big lie. Now, of course, what's left of the formerly grand old party has already made it clear that the big lie is its only organizing principle. A day after endorsing New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik as Cheney's replacement, the Republican leader in the House, Kevin McCarthy, said in a letter to colleagues with an ostensibly straight face, unfortunately, each day spent relitigating the past is one day less we have to seize the future. This as his party is currently relitigating the 2020 election in Arizona for the umpteenth time. Meanwhile, as Kevin looks to oust Liz Cheney for saying exactly what he said after the insurrection, that the former president was responsible for the mayhem at the Capitol, McCarthy has completely turned tail to follow his party off the cliff into the MAGA abyss, even as the few rational Republicans left are comparing their party to the Titanic.
We're like, you know, in the middle of this slow sink, we have a band playing on the deck telling everybody it's fine. And meanwhile, as I've said, you know, Donald Trump's running around trying to find women's clothing and get on the first lifeboat.
It just bothers me that you have to swear fealty to the dear leader or you get kicked out of the party. Well, it's sort of a circular firing squad where we're just attacking members of our own party instead of focusing on solving problems.
Well, it's still Donald Trump's party. It shows that you have to, more or less, as everyone is pointing out, you sort of have to be a lie to qualify. You have to lie to qualify to be a Republican.
Unlike the supposed House leader, and that does need to be in scare quotes right now, Liz Cheney has been consistent about two things. The first being a dyed-in-the-will right-winger, a war-hawking, tax cuts for the rich-supporting, Black Lives Matter-opposing Republican. And the second, actually thinking we should have a democracy, while the rest of the GOP continues its descent to the point of even misleading their own members. The Washington Post reports that at a retreat in April, when staff from the National Republican Congressional Committee rose to explain the party's latest polling in core battleground districts, they left out a key finding about Trump's weakness. Trump's unfavorable ratings were 15 points higher than his favorable ones in the core districts. The report adds that Cheney was alarmed since Republican campaign officials had similarly left out bad Trump polling news at a retreat in March, demonstrating the party's willingness to hide the truth about the former president, even at the peril of its own members, who have to face re-election based on that data. But the fact is, Liz Cheney has already lost the war to a party that doesn't believe in democracy, but rather only in bending the knee to a failed president. And it's clear that Kevin McCarthy is not leading his party. Okay, so who is?
That person should not be the spokesperson of the Republican Party. We knew that then. I'm glad our colleagues have caught up. Maybe we're the leaders, Marjorie. They follow us.
Yeah, there you go. Matt Gaetz, the alleged teeny dater, currently facing an ongoing investigation into whether he sex trafficked a 17-year-old kid. And Margie Q. Green, you know, the QAnon curious weirdo who believes Jewish space lasers cause California wildfires. Welcome to your new freak fest of a Republican Party. And let's just be very clear. The freaks are who would hold power if they ever get control of the Senate, the House, or the White House again anytime soon. Kevin McCarthy is not a leader. He served Trump, and he serves them.